Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video here. This is going to be the start of my second series on my channel called What If Deku Was Betrayed? I have always wanted to do one of these and I'm putting my own twists and turns on it like I did for the cheated on version. And I also want to say thank you for 700 subscribers. I did not expect my channel to grow this fast in a week, let alone like honestly, thank you. Like seriously. But this is also counting as my 700 subscriber special because I'm also combining another what if idea in this. You will see after the intro what it is. You're gonna be quite surprised, but maybe not. Who knows? But before any further ado, let's start it.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that bitch like Stockton. Just joshing. I'ma spend this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10. I can put the ball in the end zone, put a bad bitch in the friend zone.
All right, what's up, guys? Let's get into the story now. We go back to when Izuku was born. Izuku was born to Inko and Hazashi Midoriya. Inko and Hazashi, they loved their child very much. Though Hazashi was mainly interested on what quirk he would have. Little did he know, spoiler alert. But little did he know he was quirkless. Yeah. When Deku was 4 years old, Inko and Hazashi took Deku to the quirk doctor. This is a different quirk doctor this time. If you don't know why I'm doing this, then yeah, you haven't read the manga. But spoiler warning, skip about 10 seconds if you don't want to hear this. The doctor was stealing kids' quirks, yeah. That the doctor that Izuku went to. So more than likely his quirk got stolen. So yeah, his original one anyway. And no longer disclaimer here, so just if you skip 20 seconds, here we go. Now, this doctor was confused because Deku was showing signs of having electrical discharges on his cells throughout his body. If those who don't know this, this is the Speed Force, but it's lied dormant. And it's not going to be activated for quite some time. So the doctor, he ignored this and went and told Inko Midoriya that he was quirkless but had a phenomenally in his genetics, well, his cells. They were all electrically charged, but it looks like he can't use it just yet. So label him as quirkless for now, but in the future that may change. That's what the doctor says. Hizashi, he heard the quirkless, he immediately walked out. He didn't hear the rest. So, yeah, when Inko and Hizashi and Izuku got home, Hizashi, he was livid. He was pissed that his son didn't have a quirk. Inko, she was not so, she would still love her son no matter what, but she is a bit saddened that he doesn't have a quirk at the moment, but at least she knows that he will get a quirk in the future. There's a high chance he will. It just hasn't appeared yet. And Hizashi, being Hizashi, the deadbeat he is, he dips on him. He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go work in America. I'll be back whenever." Literally, that's exactly what he said. And Inko, she's saddened by this, but she's not gonna let her husband's bullshit determine how she's gonna raise her child. So, yeah. Now we cut to when Izuku gets. Now we cut to the next day. Izuku goes to the playground to tell Katsuki what happened. Um, Izuku tells Katsuki that, well, my quirk, it hasn't really, it's there, but it hasn't awakened yet. So the doctor says that in the future, I might be, I'm more than likely gonna have a quirk, but it just hasn't shown up yet. Katsuki, he understands this because he knows his friends are lying, and in this, I'm making it so that Bakugo doesn't to bully Deku, but Deku still gets bullied by other people. And yeah, so Deku and Katsuki, they would remain friends for around the next 14 years. But here's the slight difference with the canon story and this story. Bakugo would always protect Deku from anyone that would try to hurt him. The lackeys that he had were no longer his lackeys. Those were not his friends. His only friend was Izuku. And, well, one of his only friends. He had others, but they wouldn't even dare try to hurt Izuku because, yeah, Bakugo. Yeah, he's Bakugo. He'll kill him. But every time Bakugo was not there, the lackeys would always try to bully Izuku. But Izuku, who's grown up around Katsuki and does know how to fight, because Katsuki did teach him self-defense, was able to beat them rather quickly. And for a little disclaimer, because his cells are electrically charged like the Speed Force, he has a slight bit of the metabolism and enhanced strength that a speedster would have. He just doesn't have the full amount of it. Like, think of it like one for all. He has access to like 0.05% of his true power. Like, think of it like that. And it'll stay that way for like a little bit longer. But let's cut to the next day again. Now we're getting into the anime. Now the teacher walks in. He does his usual nonsense. He says, "All right, time to fill out these forms of which high school you're gonna go in the future." Then he chuckles to himself, saying, "Who am I kidding?" He throws the papers up in the air, and to Izuku, they went up and then they came down in slow motion, and everything was moving slowly around him. And Izuku, he didn't notice this, but then he took notice to it, and then everything went back to normal. He thought it was nothing, so he put it past him. But the teacher, he says his usual line, "I know you all want to be heroes, this and that," and he says, "Oh, so Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya both want to go to UA." When they heard Katsuki, they didn't budge, but when they heard Izuku, most of them started laughing and this and that, saying, "How could a quirkless kid ever get into UA?" Deku saying, "I'm not quirkless, I'm just a very late bloomer." And it's like, keep telling yourself that. And yeah, Bakugo stands up, he says, "All of you better stop laughing at my friend. You better stop laughing at Zuku, or else." And he starts setting off explosions in his hand. Deku puts a hand on Bakugo's shoulder, and Bakugo calms down. Yeah, they have that type of friendship where if one of them's angry, all the other one has to do is put a hand on their shoulder, say calm down, and they're good. Yup, that's how I'm doing this. Now, we cut to the sludge villain incident. Now, school ends. Bakugo asks Deku if they want to go to the arcade. Deku says no, he has to go home quickly to his mom. He has to get some food, then he has to go home. And Bakugo understanding this because he knows his aunt Inko does not play when it comes to him coming home. So yeah. Now Azuku, he does his usual thing. He gets the food and he's walking through an alleyway. Except he feels like something's gonna happen. Like he feels like this is not the right way to go. But he ignores it again. And as we know in the canon, the sludge villain pops out of the sewer, tries to grab onto Deku, saying, "Kid, I need your body. Didn't know this freak was in town." Deku, hearing this, he gets afraid. He's slightly frozen in fear, but he knows that he has to get out of there, so he tries running away. He's running a little bit faster than usual, not really though. And the sludge villain was still able to catch him and start suffocating him. All Might, he gets there, and All Might does this usual thing, saying, "I am here, North Carolina smash!" and explodes the sludge villain, saving Izuku. Now, Izuku, he is still a big fan of All Might. Yeah, sorry, I just hit my mic. Yeah, alright. Izuku, he is still a big fan of All Might, and so he still acts like he doesn't canon, except he doesn't mumble as much, and he doesn't have all that broken confidence. No, he has confidence. He has confidence in himself and in his ability. Because when Deku heard he was gonna get a quirk in the future, he trained for the inevitability that his quirk would be any type of physical enhancement or anything that would revolve around him moving or him him having a quirk that revolved around him having a strong body. So he was basically well toned. And yeah, if you ask why they still bullied him if he was well toned, well, yeah, they're stupid. Lackeys are dumb. Yeah, that's what they got their asses beat multiple times. Alright, but back to the story. Deku does his usual BS. He latches onto All Might's leg. All Might drops the bottle. Deku asks his question if a quirkless person can become a hero or someone who hasn't awakened their quirk yet. All Might thinking maybe this kid will make a difference, but he's having a bad day at that time, so he says his usual shit, no kid, you cannot. And he jumps off. And this leaves Izuku saddened a bit, but he doesn't let it deter him. And when he's walking home, he hears a massive explosion. Like this explosion was massive, like howitzer impact level explosion. Because Bakugo's adrenaline's high right now. He's not trying. His body's trying to make up for the fact that his physical body's not as strong, so he can't really just pull himself out, and is trying to survive. So it's like a flight or fight response that he's setting off massive explosions. Deku hears this. He's running towards it because he recognizes it. Because Bakugo, yeah, he has a certain sound to his explosions. I don't know. Like, I'm just doing this because of plot. But, like, seriously, though. He pulls up, and Deku, he sees it's his best friend, Bakugo. He doesn't even waste any time. He runs towards it, running a lot faster than usual, almost like a slight. He's, like, basically, like, he's running 50 miles per hour right now. Faster than any sprinter. Nobody notices this, not even All Might, but they just see a kid rushing past. Deku, he instantly starts running towards Bakugo, trying to pull him out. Bakugo saying, "No, Deku, don't come any closer. I don't want you to get hurt." And he'll get you too. And Bakugo and Nezuko's like, "No, I'm not leaving you." All Might, inspired by these two, gets up and says, "Detroit Smash!" creating a tornado and saving the two. Now, this would be this basically everything goes to canon, to be frank, but with a slight more than slight differences, more than actually a lot of differences. And let's get into this again. Now, Deku, he gets scolded by the heroes for doing that, but then Deku retorts with saying, "I may have not been able to help, but you guys could have, and you chose not to. You should have improvised. You should have done something. You should have been doing your job." And All Might, he steps in and agrees with this, saying, "You stood there and watched a kid almost die. If I wasn't here, these two would have both been killed." All Might, he has some type of brain cell, but yeah, not really. In this one, yes, I am making All Might a dick. I'm going to make him a dick in the future. I'm just letting you know that now. But let's get into this again. Now, All Might, he sees himself in young Midoriya, so yeah, he does the same thing. He offers him his quirk, but this time he gets it automatically and does more training with it because his body's already well toned enough. But just so that you can hear the scene, here's what happened. All Might, he walks up to Deku saying, "Yeah, I want you to be my successor, this and this and that. I've been injured. I want you to carry on my legacy and become the number one hero." Yeah. And then he also asks, "All right, but," and then he also explains one for all how his quirk can be passed on if the user deems the other person worthy. Deku, he feels inspired by this. And yeah. In this what if, Deku's lightning is gonna be white. Yes. Deku's lightning is not gonna be green. It's gonna be white. This is due to this because, well, I want it to be white. That's for starters, and also because Wally West is the most powerful Speed Force lightning is white. So yeah, and yeah, Deku, he's ooh yeah he agrees. And All Might asks, "You know what? Wait, kid, before I give you my quirk, could you take off your shirt for a sec?" Deku, Deku, what the hell? Deku takes off his shirt and reveals abs. He has well toned abs, has a lean body, like a speedster. And yeah, he trained his physical body, but his speed force and metabolism also kicked in as well. So like, yeah, he has some really well toned abs, like that Barry Allen level. Like, ooh, yeah, that type of abs. Like, no homo though, but for real though. Let's get back into this. Sorry, I just burped. Okay, now Izuku, he's like oh my, he's surprised by how well toned his body is. He's like he's perfect for it, and he just gives it to him on the spot. And he's like, all right, meet me here tomorrow at Dagobah Beach. And Deku he says okay, and he goes home. All Might he calls Inko because yeah, Deku gave him his mother's number so that she could explain to him what's happening, but not about One for All, just that she's training him to become a hero, his quirk awakened, this and that. Even though it's technically not his quirk, but shit. Um yeah, so Inko happy her son, Bakugo Deku calls Bakugo saying his quirk awakened. Yeah, he's making up that bullshit, but in reality he's gonna explain One for All to him. And yeah, Bakugo's gonna be extremely pissed in the future, but not right now. He's just happy his friend can come with him to UA. So yeah, now let's cut to the next day. Deku wakes up. He is energetic as hell. Like when I mean energetic, like hey, he's more energetic than usual. So he instantly starts running. Like he runs around his room, gets his clothes, starts running out the door. He says bye to his mom. Inko, she says bye, and also Inko does not have her fat self. Like she's not fat like in the anime because she knew her son would get a quirk eventually, and since she knew that Bakugo was always there for him, that she had nothing to worry about. She did not get her depression state and inflate and also become shorter. So yeah, now let's cut back to this though. Deku, he's running towards Dagobah Beach. He's not even full. He's full on sprinting. Like his stamina is bull. Like he's sprinting at 50 miles per hour. That's damn near impossible, but in the world of My Hero Academia, almost every character can. Yeah, fucking hero killer stain. But still, let's get back to this though. Now, Deku, he's running. He full on sprinted to Dagobah Beach, got there in 10 minutes, bro. He's on the other side of the city. He ran to Dagobah Beach, bro. Like he's gone. He sprinted there. Now he's there. All Might he gets there. They talk about training. They talk about how using One for All. And Deku he tries using it. And yeah, like can it he uses it at 100%. He tries moving. He makes a gust of wind and he breaks his toes. Yeah. He tried taking a step, he made a gust of wind, and he broke his toes. Mm-hmm. Deku then he screams out in pain saying, ah, what the hell? And then All Might's thinking, at least his arms didn't blow off. Nervously laughing. And then he says, yeah, at least your toe didn't blow off or anything. And then Izuku says, wait, that was a possibility? And then All Might's like, maybe? Ah. And yeah, they have that little thing going on. So like All Might he's still afraid to call Gran Torino, so he calls Night Eye. Night Eye straight up is still disappointed that he didn't give it to Mirio, but at least he found someone worthy. And he wants to check it out, so check it out in the future, but not now. So he tells All Might, why did you allow him to use it at 100%? Why didn't you just tell him to use it at a small percentage? All Might realizing this, because yeah, he has a brain cell but doesn't use it much. He thinks, why the hell didn't I think of that? And so yeah, after the conversation, he walks up to Izuku. He tells him, all right, let's take you to Recovery Girl, and she'll heal you up, and then we'll try this again. So yeah, Recovery Girl and him are gonna have that relationship already. So yeah, ships Deku X Recovery Girl. Ha, Recovery Girl best girl. Just for clarification, I am joking. I am not making that the ship. Honestly, I might just let you guys choose the ship. But back into this though. Deku, he is slightly a bit mad that his toe got broken. Toes, plural, got broken. Not his whole foot though, but like still, because he only took like a tippy toe of a step before it broke. But All Might tells him to try limiting yourself, try using it at a small percentage. So Deku, he tries using 60%, pulled the muscle, and almost broke his arm. He sprained it. He sprained his arm because that's the thing he moved first. And like yeah. So Now then Deku tries using 40%. He pulls a muscle again. And like Deku, he's pulling muscles left and right to try and figure out the correct percentage. And he finally gets it to 12% is what he can use without hurting himself at all. So yeah. And he can use 20% as well, but just it will just put a lot of strain on him. But like he does not have full cowling yet. So yeah. Now, because I want to get into the betrayed part, I know you guys like it when I do these backstories, but yeah, let's cut 10 months. Deku, he's been training with All Might and Bakugo. Whenever All Might's not around, him and Bakugo train as well. Bakugo shows his quirk. He sees the lightning. It's white, and Bakugo's like, "Oh, that must be why your cells were electrically charged." Deku says, "Yeah," and he in the back of his head he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tell him sooner or later. And he does tell him. Bakugo knows about One For All right now, so he's actually kind of happy his friend has a quirk and that they can be proper rivals this time. So yeah. Now Deku, he's been like training on transferring the percentages throughout his arm to his legs, to like arm and leg at the same time, to all this. And then he's thinking to himself, how can he maximize it? And then he retorts with, why don't I just put it throughout my entire body? He does it for the first time, and it's a damn good increase. It's very good, to be frank. He's 12%, so yeah. Now he's doing this, and he shows this to All Might that he put it throughout his entire body instead of a singular limb. All Might's happy. He's happy that his current successor is doing well. Now, let's cut to the UA entrance exams. Before anyone says it, Deku did clean up Dagobah Beach just for the extra training, so yeah, he can use up to 15% without any drawbacks. Yeah, I'm only doing it +3 because I truly don't care about how he is with One For All. I want to get into the betrayed, so yeah. Now, Deku, he's walking in. He does the usual thing where he trips over his foot, but he's able to like put himself forward, but he's still about to fall. So Uraka does help him this time. Those Since Deku's a lot more confident, he starts talking to Uraka. So like he asks her for her number. Yeah, I'm doing that ship for right now, just for right now. Now Deku, he is like he's good. Like he's good with himself. Like he's fine with himself. He's not mumbling. He goes inside the exam room. He's confident. He feels good about himself. He tells Bakugo what happened because like they're sitting right next to each other. Bakugo, he dabs my boy up. He's like, yeah, that's my boy. And yeah, they have that little thing going on. Ida notices this, and then yeah, now they cut through the exams. Now, not All Might, President Mike, he is explaining the robots. He explains the 3-pointer, the 2-pointer, the 4-pointer, the 5-pointer, and he was just about to explain the 0-pointer before Ida stands up. He's like, sir, um, are you missing one of the robots? Because you explained 4, but there's a massive 0-pointer that hasn't been explained yet. And if this is a mistake on UA, then I am proudly here to say, wow, like this is your hero school and you're messing up already. And he also looks at Zuko and Bakugo who are just like chilling. He says, and you two, Y'all two need to stop talking to each other during the exam and take this more seriously. Azuka retorts and say, how about you sit your ass down and stop messing up everybody's chances by preventing President Mike from explaining the zero pointer. He literally was just about to say it. You could hear the syllables of him about to say it, yet you disrupted him. And President Mike retorts and says, yeah, you did. Now, this should be a no-brainer, but the zero pointer is an obstacle. It's literally 0 points. What? I don't know what's so hard to like figure out about that, but okay. Looking at Ida feeling very, very embarrassed and ashamed, but also mad at what Izuku told him. So like, yeah, Izuku, he's chilling, bro. Bakugo high fives him, saying, "Yeah, that was good," and yeah. So like, yeah, they do that. Now we cut to the entrance exam, well, the practical exam. Now Izuku, he he has full cowling now, like now. So he got it much earlier because like he's smart, he's like he knows, and he just passively did it one time and it worked with, and he just been doing it ever since. So yeah. Now when Izuku sees Umuraka, he's about to walk over to her, seeing that she's literally nervous as hell. Like if you could see how nervous she was, bro, like she's quaking in her boots right now. Like on some real shit, she's quaking in her boots right now. Like for real. Now Azuku, he sees this, he's going to go help her out, and Ida sees this. He's like, what are you doing? Are you gonna talk? You bet you're gonna talk to that girl, aren't you? You're gonna psych her out or something? Azuku's like, no, I've talked to her today. I have her number in my phone. Like, yeah, I'm going to calm her down. You can clearly see she is vividly nervous. And he's like, no, you're not. You're going to psych her out, aren't you? That's not very heroic. Like, and it's not very heroic, like, to make assumptions on other people that you don't know. And yeah, Ida, he realizes what he's doing. He's about to say something else before Izuku just uses like 3% full cowling and jumps over him and just walks towards Umuraka, talking to her, calming her down. And Ida, he sees this. He sees like, so he wasn't lying. Ida still very like pissed and kind of like saddened because like he's an idiot. Yeah, Ida was a bitch in the beginning of the series. I can't lie to you. Like he was a straight up ass. Like, and he still is technically. But then again, he has become a more likable character, so I can't really complain. But let's get to the start of the practical exam. Deku, since he's training with All Might told him what to do, and All Might told him how the hero exams work, except he didn't tell him about the hero points, because like why would he? And Izuku, instantly when the doors open, he activates 12% full cowling. Know what? Fuck it. 15% full cowling. He blitzes off. And he's just running around. He's just running around. And everyone's confused on why he's already running. And President Mike says, there's no real countdown when you're facing up against a villain. Follow that kid's lead and go! Everyone starts running. Ida starts running. He's surprised by Deku's speed, seeing how fast he is. He's faster than him by a lot. So yeah. Izuku, he's moving around, blitzing around, taking out 2-pointers, 3-pointers, 4-pointers. Since Bakugo and him are in the same grade in school, they are at different sites. So yeah, he's blitzing around. He's saving people from time to time too, so he gets more hero points as well. Now, Deku, he has been blitzing around, doing this and this and that. Yeah, he's going good. Now, the reason why One For All is like slightly stronger and slightly faster now, by the way, that's mainly because of Deku's speed force that's quote unquote dormant but awakening slowly. It's awakening slowly, but it'll truly awaken sooner or later. Now, Deku, he's blitzing off, destroying robots left and right, and he gets around 80 villain points, and he has like 40 rescues, so in total he has 130 points. Now, second Bakugo, yeah, not Bakugo, what the hell? Second the zero pointer comes out, Deku's about to run away until he sees and hears a scream for help. Everyone's running away, this and that. Ida's running away as well. Deku, he sees this, and he starts he instinctively activates 20% of one for all, runs over there, and he picks up the rubble off of Umaraka, and he starts what's call it? He starts jumping up the zero pointer, and second he got towards the face, he activates 100% off of instinct only, and punches the zero pointer, breaking his arm, but his other arm that's still carrying Umaraka is completely fine. And he does this with Umaraka in his hand, and he's going down to the ground. Since he has 20% on one for all, full cowling still on, he just lands like normal. He just lands like he's fine. Like he just uses the air pressure to land. So yeah. Now Izuku, he walks over to Recovery Girl with Uraraka in his arms still. Uraraka's blushing. Yeah. And Uraraka sees Deku's broken arm. And she sees Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl comes over, heals the two of them because Uraraka had a sprained ankle. And Deku, he had a broken arm, like a whole broken limb and some strained muscles. So yeah, he's fine now, though his stamina is completely drained from it. Then again, his stamina is borderline infinite, but still, he can still become tired. He can still become fatigued just only because he uses his quirk, but still. Now let's get back into this. Deku, because he saved Umaraka and still walked away from it, even though he had a broken arm, he got the full 80 points, and since Umaraka didn't do shit, she got 10 points just so that she could get into UA. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Now, Umaraka and Deku, they start hanging out during the 2 weeks that during the 2 to 3 weeks that they were off before UA. Then those two start dating. And yeah. And when the UA exam results came in and said who got into UA or not, and when his acceptance letter came, All Might All Might, he didn't even bother giving him the letter. He just walked up to him in person and told him that you got in, and you're in class 1A, by the way. Deku, he's ecstatic by this. And yeah, now we cut to UA. Now, because I truly want to get into the actual betrayed, let's speed things up a bit. We skip to the entrance, and we skip to the first day, and Deku, he walks in with Umaraka. They're holding hands. Bakugo sees, he's like, "Hey, my boy," and like, yeah, Bakugo's hyped for his boy, but he does have a bad feeling about Umaraka, though he disregards it, saying it's probably just indigestion or something. Little does he know he should have listened to that feeling. But still, now Izuku, because for plot sakes, the dorms were added a lot earlier, and I mean a lot earlier, I mean shit, it was added in like 2 years before, so 2 years before them. That's what I'm gonna say. So like yeah, now Deku. So like yeah, they have their dorms now. They're not gonna move into them till like a week after school. So yeah. Now Aizawa, same shit happens. They all go and they get ready. The ball throw. Deku doesn't use 100%, but he uses 20%. But because he has full cowling, he uses the air pressure. He uses the air pressure that's created by his arm and span around in a circle, creating a slight mini tornado, and then threw the ball and the air pressure forced the ball to go further than last time. So he got 823 meters. So yeah, and because Deku threw a couple flicks at it, you know, that precision aim, and it hit it, that's why it also went further. So yeah. Now Deku, he Aizawa, he slightly surprised. He thought he was gonna break his arm, that he would have to like d- like take away his quirk, but then he saw that like he has limiters on his quirk. He probably activated off of instinct, not really paying attention, which is exactly what happened. By the way, he just wasn't paying attention, which is why he went to 100. If he was, he would have probably went to 50 and not have broken his arm, but have just pulled a lot of muscles. So yeah. Now Izuku and Uraraka, they go on a lot of dates. And after this, like everything goes to canon except for Deku does not get second to last. Not second to last, like I think he got like 15th or something. I'm pretty sure. Like he got 15th or so. I'm pretty sure in the, yeah, I think he got 15 or so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but he probably got 15th or so. Deku in this one, he got 4th. Cause I don't know how in God's name Momo got first, but okay. Like for real. I don't know how the actual hell Momo got first, or even in the top 4. Like I'm fairly confused by that, but like okay, like she's literally, her quirk is creation. I know she can create stuff for certain situations, but like how the fuck did she get, like how the fuck did she get first? Enough of my rant. Let's get back into the story. Because I truly do not want to like get into this whole thing all over again. We're cutting about a week before the USJ. A week before the USJ, Deku and Umaraka, they got close. The Umaraka's being a little thoughty thought on the side. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing like 3 concepts this time, technically. So yeah, Deku, he is, he doesn't know about it yet, but he will soon. But yeah, so he's walking through an alley after dropping off Umaraka, and he bumps into someone who he then feels like a sharp pain in his right forearm, and then like a syringe just took some blood out. If you don't know who this is Himiko Toga. Yes, I'm making sure she goes in early. She goes to the league early, and her first task was to steal information on UA, and since she found a UA student, that's it. But there's evidence, there's like literal footage of this happening. Like they see the syringe. Deku doesn't notice it because he has too much muscle. He sees the syringe, and it literally, like, it shows her transforming into them in that alleyway. But Deku just didn't turn around. He just didn't really care. And then it shows 2 Dekus leaving that alleyway in opposite directions. That's gonna come in major handy. Now, during that week or so, that day actually, she stole files from UA. UA didn't find the footage until the day before the USJ, and All Might, he wasn't notified of it yet, but he was notified it sooner than later. They notified the teachers about this and this and that, and yeah, Deku still has his notebooks. By the way, All Might knows about these notebooks, and so does Bakugo, and so does Muraka. But you know, since Bakugo's the only one who uses his head, yeah. Now, Nezu brings this up in the meeting. He says, "We have found footage of a UA student by the name of Izuku Midoriya stealing files, but I'm not sure if it's him." And and then they're just like, "Why?" And there's like, "Because we also have." By the way, All Might, he saw this, like he didn't hear that it was not him, and he just went off and peeled off towards Midoriya. But he then decided to wait a minute, and he'll do it during the USJ. Now, he'll do it either before or after the USJ, cause like yeah, and Nezu's saying, because we also have another video showing Izuku in an alleyway walking through, and then two versions of him moving out of that same alleyway. So none of the teachers are gonna believe that Deku did it, but like All Might. So yeah. And so like yeah, All Might ends up telling Class 1A this and this and that, and they decide to be the most of Class 1A decide to become fake as shit and act fake around him until the USJ. So like they acted all buddy buddy and this and that, except when the USJ was happening, they all gave him the cold shoulder but Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, and Todoroki. Everyone else just gave him the cold shoulder. So yeah. Now we cut to the USJ. When they get there, Deku's still wondering why everyone's giving him the cold shoulder. He asks Bakugo. Bakugo, he tells Deku what All Might told them, and Izuku's like, "What?" And I'm just like, "But how? Why would I need to?" And Bakugo knows what he's referring to. He's like, "I know, right? That's kind of stupid. Like, what? How? Why would you need to do it if you already have information on everybody here and more in your notebooks?" Denki and Kirishima both agreed on this because they've seen Deku writing in them a lot. Because like, yeah, he's still kind of a nerd, but he's just like more confident about it. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care that people know. He doesn't care about what people think of him. So yeah, the only person he does care for is like All Might and his mom, but that's about it. Now, when we get inside the USJ, the majority of the class, they're just looking at Deku, except for Bakugo, Kirishima, and Denki, who are all talking with Deku. And then Kirishima looks down and sees a portal opening, and it's like, oh, fake villains. And oh my, Aizawa's like, no, they're not. And he runs down there, starts fighting them, says 13, protect the kids. And yeah, before you say all, Uraka did do her fangirl shit, but like still, now we're back into this. Now, yeah, he said protect the students. Aizawa goes down there, starts kicking ass. And Kurogiri, he's about to teleport the class, but the class all stares daggers at Deku. And Deku gets teleported to the water zone. But since you know he has 15 to 20% of One for All under his belt, and for Cowling, he starts moving around and he starts swimming much faster than he usually should, and he gets to the boat much quicker without the help of Su Asui. So yeah. Now, Deku, he gets on there, he tries making a plan with Suyu and Minietta, and I'm gonna say Suyu's the only one of the three girls that didn't believe that he did it. And yeah, she's part of the people who didn't know who believe that he didn't do it. And so she does make a plan with him, and they do make a plan, and Deku ends up shooting 20% air pressure into the ground. It has around the same effect because it's more than just his hand, his fingers, it's his entire arm doing this. It's an entire fist punching the water. So it has way more of an effect. So yeah, actually it has around the same, but just a bit more. So yeah, they were able to get there quicker. And because they were able to get there quicker, they were able to push Aizawa out of the way from the Nomu, who was about to, like, you know, do some shit. So Aizawa, he's not as damaged as before. And yeah, this is gonna come in major handy. Now, because Deku did that and Suasui helped, Suasui, she jumped away, but since Deku was closest, Shigaraki says, while scratching his very, very flaky neck, says, "Ah, you damn brats. No more killed. Actually, no, not even kill him. Hold him hostage." As Class 1A, they get there, and so does 13, but she's still very heavily damaged, though. But she's alive. But Class 1A, They see Deku hold hostage, and Shigaraki says, "Move another step, and I'll kill the brat." And and they moved another step, more than half of them, and they all said, "Go ahead, kill him," except for Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, Suwasui, and like two others from 1B, but like still, Kirishima, Denki, Bakugo, and Suwasui. Yeah, and even Mineta saying this. So like Deku, he is so confused, and he looks at them. He's like, "Are y'all dumbasses?" And second he says this, he busts through the door. He immediately runs towards the Nomu, punches him in the face, grabs Midoriya, throws him to the ground, and he says, "Give me 1 sec. I'll deal with you in a second, other villain." And then Deku, he's so fucking confused. He's like, "Did this nigga just call me a villain? Me? Me? Wow. This motherfucker." And he's thinking this, and before he could say anything, All Might just punches Deku and knocks him out. Yeah, he's doing this bullshit. Now, Deku, while he's knocked out, the Speed Force full on is about to activate. Like, it's on the tipping stone to fully activating. So yeah. Now Deku, he's knocked unconscious. Like, he's not waking up for a while. But while All Might was fighting the Nomu went for Izuku, grabbed him, and threw him out of the USJ. But because Deku's knocked out, his body was able to bend with the impact and was able to survive. Yes, he was able to survive with like a broken arm, but like a broken arm and like a slightly fractured skull. But other than that, that's it. Cause when he landed, since he was unconscious, the force of it was spread throughout his entire body evenly. So yeah, just the places that were like full on grabbed by the Nomu were completely broken. And All Might, he thinks, "Damn it, I can't get back one for all yet." Now he runs towards the Nomu again, and he starts beating on it. He beats it this time quicker because he wants to like do something. And when he beats the Nomu, he runs towards Shigaraki. Shigaraki teleports away. And Deku, he's distraught right now. Like, in his head, he may be unconscious, but like his mind is still awake. It basically hit a reboot button. So like he remembers everything and he's sad. So he's crying in his sleep. Well, crying in his subconsciousness, but like still. Now, the One For All users, they see this. They're just like, no way they're about to do what I think they're about to do. And they're all like very distraught. Like they are mad at All Might specifically. Cause how the hell are you not gonna believe your own successor? Like, this is like that's the type of anger that the One For All users are showing. So they want to help Deku, but they just can't. All they can do is wait for the time being and wait for the right moment. Now, All Might, he finishes off the Nomu, finishes off the other villains, and then he runs towards Midoriya. He grabs Midoriya and takes him to and takes him to a doctor, and then he tells the doctor to put him under laughing gas, and he asks for the quirk back while he's under laughing gas. Yes, All Might did him like that. He asked for the quirk while he was on laughing gas. That's a whole new level of low. And Deku, he's gonna remember this, and he's gonna be pissed beyond belief. The One For All users, they seeing this, he's like, this motherfucker. And then they're thinking to themselves, you know what? Once we go to the next user, we're destroying the quirk. That's what they're all thinking. And yeah, All Might, he gets back the quirk. He runs off. He go, and if I didn't say it before, Umaraka, she was cheating on him with Ida. Yeah, I'm doing that again. And she full on made out with Ida while looking at Deku as he was getting knocked out by All Might. Yeah, they did him like that. He not only got cheated on, he got betrayed by relationship wise, betrayed mentor wise, and Aizawa, he already was he knocked on he went unconscious. He couldn't say a thing because second when All Might came in, Aizawa's body just gave in and passed out because of the amount of pain he was in. He was about to say something and was about to erase Shigaraki or the Nomu's quirk to get Deku back, but like he was just passed out. Also, Aizawa believed Deku. Like he knows he didn't do it because there's literal evidence that says he didn't. But All Might's not trying to let that out because he wasn't there to listen to it. And so yeah, he tells officers to lock him up. After he does this, he tells officers to lock him up while he's still under it. And Deku, he wakes up in a cell. And he thinks to what happened. And then it clicks to him on what happened. He remembers the laughing gas. He remembers what happened. And this causes the speed force in his body to activate and merge with the remaining embers of One For All he had. And it just straight up basically ate it up and used it. Basically, he does not have One For All anymore at all. His connection to One For All was severed completely. Though he is still in the mindscape for it, like his spatial consciousness is still with the quirk because he had it. Himself physically is not connected to it whatsoever. So no, he cannot access it at all. Now, Izuku, he's thinking to himself, what did he do? And he's so confused. And he's like, no way they're that dumb. There's no way. Nezu's the smartest man on the planet. There's no way. And by the way, All Might did all of this behind the teachers' backs and didn't even tell them what happened. So, yeah, for the rest of the month, this is the beginning of the month, so yeah. So for the rest of the month, Izuku was in Tartarus. He was basically, like, he was beaten. Like, he was stabbed. He was beaten. And the Speed Force, they're seeing this. They feel bad. Like, this kid has it rough. Like, once it activates, like, Deku, he feels his quirk. And, yeah. So, yeah, he feels his quirk. He feels it there. And he's mad. Like, Deku, he's not sad. He's not distraught. He's just mad. He's angry. And with a slight hint of sad, but still. Deku's mom, she's trying to find every way to get Deku out of prison. And then she realizes it, and yeah. And before I say it, no one knew where Deku was for a month, and All Might didn't even bother telling the teachers. And when Inko Midoriya went up to the school to ask what did they do, and why her son was in prison, and this was after like a month, so we're like in the second month right now. Next was like, wait, what happened? Wait, he's in jail? And All Might's like, yeah, put that villain in jail. And then Nezu retorts and says, he wasn't a villain, you idiot. There's another video that shows that there was two of him in that alleyway. Someone transformed into him and stole the files. There's literal video evidence showing this, All Might. If you had stayed, you would have seen it. Nezu snapped at All Might. All Might, he realizes that he just made one of the biggest mistakes of his life. But he doesn't care. He still thinks Midoriya is a quote-unquote villain. Because, like, yeah, he has half a brain cell. So, reluctantly, All Might, he just walks out the room. He goes over to Ida and gives him One For All. Except, during the transfer, something bad happened. When Ida tried accessing One For All in front of All Might, the lightning was black, and when All Might touched Ida, it showed the previous One For All users along with Deku's silhouette just there, sitting down. not doing anything because technically his mind is not there anymore, but it's like it's still there technically, meaning he can communicate with the past one for all users. And All Might, he sees his master. He tries to walk up there. His master just looks at him in disgust and says, I should have never chosen you." That's what Nana says, by the way. Nana says, "I should have never chosen you." And All Might, he finally sets in. He's like, "That boy must have corrupted One for All." He's like, "No, he didn't corrupt us. That's impossible." Also, we all saw all his memories. We could have told you. We could have contacted you. He could. We were about to contact them too, until you took back the quirk. And because there's no one worthier than him, and you forced him to give up the quirk, we're destroying One for All. And almost like, wait, what? Yeah, we're giving you some remaining embers so you can still be a hero and whatnot, but we are destroying the quirk. And the first user says, yeah, and no, for the first user, he's mad because Deku, he was one of the most worthiest people for the quirk he's ever seen, and more worthier than All Might himself. And because Deku wants to be a hero just to save people, nothing else, nothing more. He just wants to make sure nobody goes through what he was about to go through. He wants to make sure that everybody is safe. And the first user says, "I'm collapsing One for All, and this boy will not get a smither of the power." And that's what he did. He collapsed the quirk, but the mindscape of the quirk went back to Izuku. All Might, he realizes what he just did. Like, he not only destroyed his successor by breaking him mentally, he literally destroyed one of the only forces that could combat All for One because of his negligence, his stupidity, and utter idiocy. Now, let's cut back to Izuku. During this month, he was getting stabbed, he was getting beat, but he did train. Like, he trained a lot. His body is still lean, but his muscles are really dense. Like, stupidly dense. Now, Izuku, he looks lean. Very lean. He looks like Wally West right now, but with green hair. And with green eyes, but the suit will be green as well. Except anything replace it with red, replace it with that version shade of green. So yeah. Now, Izuku, he's been angry. Mostly angry at All Might and his class, who abandoned him when they got the first chance to. And as Inko, she heard this as like, now we cut back to All Might and Nezu in the office. Like, All Might goes back to Nezu. He explains to Nezu what happened. All Might says, "Wow, nice. Now get out of my face." Now, All Might, he knows, he understands. Like, Nezu truly does not care at this point. He just wants his student back in the school. And Inko also retorts and saying, why would he need to steal the files if he has all the files in his notebooks, and pulls out all of his 10 notebooks, all with information about every hero in Japan, their strengths, their weaknesses, all. And Nezu, he's like, he wrote all of this? Yes, he's been doing it since he was a kid, Inko says. And Nezu, he's like, oh my god, we're getting him out of jail tomorrow. As he instantly calls up the prison guards of Tartarus. He calls up the warden, calls up a judge, and they get him out of Tartarus basically. But not until they have to visit him and sign all the paperwork, so that's gonna take about a week. So like, he's technically not coming out tomorrow, but he's technically free, but not free at the same time. Now, when Izuku is called, he says that he has a visitor. The visitors are Inko, Aizawa, Nezu, and All Might. Yeah, All Might. Deku, he's gotten far colder. Far colder. When I mean colder, I mean he does not. He's like Todoroki ice cold. Like he's colder than Todoroki right now. He's only gonna show emotion to those he truly cares about, like his mother, Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, Suiwasui, and the other girl. I think I'm gonna just say Kendo. Yeah, and Shinso. Yeah. Now, yeah, those are all the people who believed him. Only people who believed him, along with the big three. So yeah. Now, Deku, he looks far more. He's taller now. He's roughly, instead of his normal 5'5", bro, he is 6'1". Green hair, whitish green eyes. Like the tint in the middle is completely white, but the entire horizon of it is green. So yeah, that's his eyes. And they see him and it's like, we asked for Izuku Midoriya, and then it's like, yes, this is Izuku. And they all are just shocked. And Deku just says, what do y'all want? And hi mom. He just swaps between cold and being genuine. And Nezu says, we're taking you out of Tartarus by the end of the week. Also, you were never supposed to be in here in the first place. All Might did this without telling any of us for a month. And Deku gets even more mad. He's like, and you could see the lightning coursing through his eyes. All Might sees, he's like, what, you still have one for all? He's like, no, this is my quirk. My original quirk. And almost like, so you lied to me about being quirkless? I said, do you remember when I first met you? I said that my quirk was meant to come in later in life. All Might, he remembers it, and then he's like, oh. My quirk was about to awaken with One for All, but since you took it, it took all the embers and used it up, and just supercharged my quirk. And then they ask what it's called, and then he says, my quirk is called the Speed Force. Though it's technically not a quirk, it's more of a mutation than an actual quirk. And because of the Speed Force, and because for plot's sake, the Speed Force trained Izuku in his mind. When One for All was completely wiped out of his system and his connection was severed, the Speed Force took that opportunity to take its place and basically took Izuku and took his mind into the Speed Force and projected it in there and basically taught him everything that the speedsters know. And since there's libraries and information inside the Speed Force, he was able to figure out what to do, how to activate his speed, how to get faster. And because of his relationship and his mind basically being in the Speed Force for so long, he basically became best friends with it. So like that's why his lightning is white. Now, Azuku, he's livid, but he'll let it go for now. But just know, if he gets a chance to fight All Might, he's crippling the nigga. No cap. Like he's crippling his ass. Like for real though, the nigga's getting crippled. Like no lie, he's getting crippled. I don't know what you thought this was. He's getting crippled. Huh. Like it'll be like Barry. It'll be like what happened to Barry when Zoom basically stabbed him in the back with his finger, vibrating at 500 miles per hour. So yeah, that's basically what's gonna happen. But not right now though. So yeah, not right now. Not right now. But soon, maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll kill them off. Who knows? Haha. Totally. Now, after this week, Izuku and his mom, they visited throughout the week, and the day came when he was said to be released. And because, for plot sakes, they're having a second USJ because they never actually got to finish the lesson. It was just there. Aizawa, he was also happy that his student was back. So yeah, they had a second USJ. Like the first one, it got attacked. Except instead of one Nomu, it is 5. 5 Nomus of the exact same magnitude that All Might fought. So yeah. But let's cut to before they get there. Now, Izuku gets out of the prison. He hugs his mom tightly. And he just walks. He just says, alright. He stretches. And Nezu gets a phone call saying the USJ is under attack. Deku's like, alright, fine. Where's my clothes? Inko points to their car. Deku runs at literally lightning speeds. And blinding speeds. Like speeds that are not feasibly possible. Basically the speed of lightning. So like 63,000 miles per hour, I'm pretty sure. Around there. So yeah. He basically runs over to the car, changes his clothes, and he blitzes to the USJ. Like, literally. Everyone sees this, they're surprised, and All Might's just like, how powerful would he have been if I had not taken One for All? And One for All had not being destroyed. So yeah. Izuku, he has the Speed Force right now. And before you say it, he does know who other speedsters are. And I might add another speedster in this, who knows? Maybe I'll add Zoom, who knows? But for real though, he blitzes to the USJ. All they see is a white lightning appear. And a trail of white lightning just coming behind him. Like, they just see it appear out of thin air. And all of Class 1As, they're on top of the stairs, yet Izuku, including Aizawa by the way, he's upstairs. And Izuku, he just appears in front of them. They see the green hair, they see the green eyes, and they immediately think, Bakugo, Denki, and Kirishima, and Tsuyuwasui, they immediately are relieved to see Izuku. And they're happy that he's here. And the rest of the class, except for Aizawa and 13, and Todoroki, yeah, they all like, why is the villain here? And they're about to attack him before Deku just appears behind them, knocks them all out, not doing the shit. And Deku just says, I am not doing this shit again, bro. Y'all can sit your asses down. Now let me get to work. It was only for like 5 minutes, so they woke up to see Izuku basically kicking ass. Like, they woke up to him basically kicking everybody's ass. Like, for real though. They woke up to him kicking everybody. Like, literally, he's only using his legs right now. And he blitzes around just literally kicking people. Literally. And he's taking them out one by one. Like, before they knew it, I'd say that they had around 2,000 thugs this time. And 5 Nomus and like 3 high-class villains. All 2,000 of them were gone. Aizawa was trying to jump down there, but he already saw all of them knocked out clean. Like, Jesus. They're not waking up for, I don't know, days. And Deku, he sees the Nomus. He walks up to one of them, runs around it, creates a tornado, and in the middle of the tornado, that's where the Nomu is, in the sky. And he throws a lightning bolt so fast that he throws the lightning bolt, and what's messed up is on how he's so fast, he runs around his own lightning bolt, goes to the Nomu, punches him in the stomach towards the lightning bolt, and throws another lightning bolt, striking both points of the Nomu at the same time, sending an electrical discharge through its body, causing it to explode and basically deteriorate to the atomic level. That's how powerful that lightning is. Also, I haven't even put him at full power, but like still, he's still kind of broken. I'm gonna have to like add a villain or something that can combat him or at least keep up. Maybe. Who knows? I'll add Zoom. Maybe. Who knows? Just let me know if you guys want me to add a villain who is on par with Deku. And yeah, I'll probably kill him off in like the next 3 parts, but not Deku, but the villain. But like, just let me know who. Now, you know what? You know what? Y'all don't get to choose the ship anymore, because I already got the ship in mind now. It's gonna be Suyu x Deku, Suyu Asuya x Izuku Midoriya. Yep, I'm doing that one. It's a rare ship to find in What Ifs, and I'm doing it. Now, Deku, he takes out one Nomu. Shigaraki, he's in fear. Like, he saw all of the men that he brought get taken down in less than a second. And before you say what he was doing for the rest of the 5 minutes, he was just talking to Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, Todoroki, Aizawa, and Suyu Asui, him flirting with Suyu. But yeah, he that type of dude. Now, when he turns around, he sees that a bunch of villains are running towards him. He just takes them out in a second, all 2,000. Like, he didn't just take out the villains who were coming towards him. He took out all the villains that were around the USJ and brought them to the middle of Kurt canceling handcuffs on them, knocked clean out for the next couple days. Now, Izuku. Now, let's get back to when Shigaraki sees this. He is in fear. Like, the fear in his eyes. Like, he does not want to be there anymore. He's like, I rethink all of my life decisions. He's trying to ask Kurogiri to leave. He's about to say it. Kurogiri gets yeeted. When I mean yeeted, I mean Deku just runs up to him, phases into the metal, and just pulls Kurogiri out. And because, you know, Kurogiri is Shukumaro, his face looks like Shirakumaro. But Deku just knocks him out, because, like, yeah, he knocks him out. So, yeah, Deku, he blitzes off again. Aizawa sees the face, he's like, no, it can't be. And, yeah, so he says, no, it can't be. Like, he's saying this in his head. But he knows it's him, but he's just gonna not think about it for the time being. Now, Izuku, he's just blitzing towards the rest of the Nomu. Shigaraki's in fear. Like, he does not want to fight him. He's not want to fight anymore. And Deku, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. He runs out the USJ and runs so fast. Bro, when I tell you they're hearing the sound barrier break like 9 times. That's how fast he's moving. And all you see is Deku pull up to the Nomu, bro, one of the 4 that's remaining. He punches it with electricity in his arm, and that punch was so devastating that, my guy, the Nomu's head disintegrated. That's for starters. Second, it created a shockwave that looked like he created a massive crater where the USJ used to be. But for plot reasons, Deku was able to run so fast that after he punched it, he had a couple seconds before the shockwave and stuff actually took effect. He took like, not Shigaraki, but like Shigaraki, he survived off a plot. He took the class, took the teachers, and took some of the villains, most of them, actually all of them, out of the USJ, and just kept them in the parking lot next to the bus. Now Izuku, he runs back to where the Nomu were, and All Might, he's just getting there, and he sees that there's a crater where the USJ used to be. He's like, what the fuck happened here? Aizawa not really wanting to talk to All Might, but reluctantly does and says, well, let's just say Izuku's back, and he punched that Nomu so hard that it created that crater. He did that while you were all inside? He's like, yeah, but then again, he's so fast that he got us out just as he punched him. All Might is shocked by this. He's like, what the hell? And Shigaraki, he's awakened. He was like dazed for a bit after the shockwave. He was knocked back far, but not far enough for Deku, to not see him. So yeah, he goes and starts fighting the Nomu. The Nomu, Deku starts trying to do speed punches on him, starts punching it so many times, and these are all like punches that would be equivalent to 50% of Deku's power. So it is doing something, but not much. Not 50% of Deku's power. In Speed Force terms, he's using about 40%, 30%. But in canon Deku wise, that would be 50% of his manga power. So yeah. It's pretty damn strong punches, and he's doing tons of those. So like, he's doing thousands and millions of punches on this thing. But the Nomu shock absorption, when I tell you, it was keeping up at first, but Deku upped the ante and it just stopped. Like, straight up, it was irrelevant. Shock absorption and regeneration, irrelevant. It was irrelevant. That's how powerful he was. It became irrelevant to him. He said, fuck it. Literally. Like, no, it was gone. The last Nomu tries to punch Deku while he's doing this. It ends up landing a hit, but Deku's arm got shattered because of it. But that Speed Force regeneration factor is damn high, so his arm, it started regenerating already, and it was like already back in place. And it was just regenerating. All Might, he was about to step in, but he sees that his arm is straight up regenerating as we speak. He's like, what the fuck? He has a regeneration one too? Is he working with All For One or something? And then he realizes that he couldn't have because he's literally been in prison this whole time. So he's finally using his brain. So this might be a sub-element of his quirk. And Deku's arm healed in 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes, the Nomi was trying to touch Deku. Deku was just phasing, running through, just dodging while his arm healed. And when his arm finally healed, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna end this. Deku starts running. And when I mean running, I mean he is blitzing around. He's running as fast as he possibly can right now, which is roughly the speed of light. He's running that fast right now. Though he really doesn't have to, he's just trying to prove a statement to All Might. And he runs off to a nearby, he runs to a nearby country. I'm gonna say that, yeah, fuck it. He ran to the United States and ran back in 3 seconds. And he punched the Nomu so hard, it created an even bigger crater that's the size of a Madara-sized meteor. And the Nomu, he was obliterated on impact. All Might, he was knocked back to where the bus was, and he lands on the bus, and Aizawa was like, what the hell happened over there? And then All Might just says, well, let's just say we got a lot of construction after this. All Might, Aizawa, he's like, oh boy, what did Problem Child do? And then he walks over to where the Nomu and Shigaraki and stuff was. Shigaraki trying to run away for his life. Like, he's afraid. Deku seeing him just straight up says, you know what? I'll leave him be. I'm taking the rest. Just for a warning. And Shigaraki, he runs back to the base, bro. He tells All For One what happened. All For One's like, I have to have that boy's quirk, no matter the cost. And All For One, he wants Deku's quirk now. So yeah. Now, Deku, he starts talking with Suyuasui after this entire ordeal. And he starts flirting with her, doing all this and that, saying, "Yeah, shorty, you wanna go on a date with me sometime?" And he says this. Uraka hears this. She was about to say something, and Deku about to hear a peep out of her mouth says, "Don't even say shit, Umuraka. Not yours. Don't say a word." And Uraka said, "How did you know what I was gonna say?" And Deku says, "Because I know you. You're like that. Just you're like that. Just as much as you're a gold digger and a hoe, but still." He says this. Ida hears this. He's about to like attack Deku. Deku just looks at him and says, Are you gonna try to attack me?" Ida, he paused in his tracks because he looks in Deku's eyes. He sees the lightning coursing through them, and he knows Deku's beyond faster than him. And Ida, he is in fear because Deku just says, "Well, you saw what I did to those Nomus, and and I wasn't even trying, by the way, and you saw what I did to basically every villain in the USJ on how they're unconscious for the next 5 days or so. Do you truly want to fight me?" And Ida backs down instantly, like a pussy he is. Bakugo's just laughing his ass off because that was hilarious as shit. So is Todoroki. Aizawa even, bro. He's laughing his ass off. Like, bro, damn. And Su Asui, she said she does this, bro. She does the most bold thing possible, bro. She comes up to Deku because she wants to make Uraka as jealous as possible, bro. She kisses him on the lips, full on tongue kisses the bro, giving him that that tongue twister 3000, bro. I'm cringy, I know. He's giving right in front of everybody too, so like most of the girls jealous, Momo jealous, everybody, Oraka wanting to commit arson and murder. So yeah. Now, to be frank, this is the end of part 1, but depending on how fast this uploads will 100% depict whether or not I upload part 4 of What If Deku Was Cheated On today or not. But if it doesn't, it's coming out tomorrow. So, thank you. Also, again, thank you for 700 subscribers, and yeah, welcome back to, and yeah, well, see you along. See ya along? Well, so long, folks.